Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Stardust Show Gaming, and we're back today with a new newsroom. It's update day. Update Lefebvre have is available now. I will not be going over the historical background because I have absolutely no context for the information. But let's get into what this update means for the game. To start out, I do have no idea how to pronounce this Napoleonic honorary marshal. I took a course on Napoleonic warfare, but we did not cover this guy. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, so I'm just going to call this milestone leaf going forward. And this is a bit of a controversial update somehow because we're basically getting two entirely free divisions introduced to the game before release. But people are upset, so let's go over why. Let's look over what the divisions add and kind of what possibilities that you can bring to the table with these new units. So first of all, the term division is outdated. We can't say that anymore because now these are regiments. These are two reinforced regiments being added to the game. So strictly not divisions, but they call them battle groups, and that's following the Steel Division 2 trend, I think, a lot because they started with just divisions, but there were so many interesting units and campaigns and things like that that they just decided to take the cores of those operations and attach all their additional units and call it a battle group when it might not strictly be the strength of a division. So I think we're already seeing that here with WARNO, where they're moving away from strict divisional, saying, okay, check out these battle groups for the sake of variety. So with that being said, variety-wise, there's not a ton of new units, but we will talk about the ones that are brought to the table. Mostly, these offer two entirely different types of divisions. NATO gets the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment. This is like the force that's supposed to take the brunt of like the Warsaw Pact attack during World War III. This is in the Fulda Gap area, which, like, if you know about the Cold War, you've heard about the Fulda Gap. Obviously, there were other major axes of attack that the Soviets would take in the event of war, but Fulda was the main one defended by U.S. forces, the U.S. 7th Corps, with some West German territorial units. So it's heavily equipped with recon tanks and helos, and also the 11th ACR actually has a pretty decent air tab as well. It's very well outfitted with F-16s and A-10s. So if you like those aircraft, those are going to be good. And this division in particular has some very interesting implications for 1v1s, which I don't play. For the Warsaw Pact, there's the 119th Odelley Tank Polk, also known as the 119th Independent Tank Regiment. And this is a new battle group that's kind of split off from the 79th Guards Tank Division. So this is kind of supposed to be a first-line echelon division for breakthrough attacks. Very heavily equipped with tanks, helicopters, and aircraft as well. We also get a new operation. This is one I'm actually pretty excited to try out, the Gotterdammerung operation. Basically, this covers the advance of East German forces and into Western Germany. Their spearhead of the attack fails, and they're under attack from the flank, and so this more reserve type unit has to hold the flank against this NATO counterattack. You're going to have to fall back sector by sector and defend bit by bit to try to make it out alive. So this should be pretty entertaining. I'm really looking forward to using reserve troops to pick apart, big NATO armored advances. Nobody knows how they got that cool LOS tool where you have like the gun sight camera. It's obviously pretty cool, but we don't have access to that. So this is more about a fallback zone by zone kind of operation. I have to admit, I anticipate some difficulties with this. Like, if, this unit is outfitted with reserve tanks mostly, and so a lot of them T-55, T-62 can't fire on the move. You have the MT-12 anti-tank gun, can't really withdraw that. So for a division that's supposed to withdraw sector by sector, it's going to be difficult to withdraw intact assets. I think they might have to stand and die in place while you get more reinforcements to the front. But either way, I'm excited to play this operation and see. That video will be coming out soon to see how it all works together. Then we have a T80 rework. I noticed the T55, the T72, and the T80U reworks, and those are cool, but let me tell you, the T80 and T80BV reworks really look great. This picture does not do it justice. Looking at it in the armory, the new tank model is absolutely beautiful. It looks like its Wargame Red Dragon counterpart, but in the best way. It just looks great. It's got this dark green like hue. It looks awesome. So, new units being added here. So, the new T80BV IZD29. So basically, the difference here is that it's going to be have a more impressive engine attached to it, which is going to allow it to reverse and move forward a little bit faster to get your tank out of danger. Personally, not something that I would use because I don't see it as sufficient to be worth the points, but an interesting new unit. And the T80U and T80UD are being moved from the 79th Guards tank to the 119th Independent Tank Regiment. And I saw a lot of people upset about this. They felt like the Warsaw Pact side is being undersold and underrepresented, and that they're not having enough advanced equipment and vehicles, that they're already suffering against NATO. So people were saying, why would you take the best tanks, the Spearhead, away from the 79th Guards Tank Division? Personally, I saw when I heard this news, I thought that the 79th Guards Tank Division would operate maybe more like the 39th Motor Rifle Division, or Mechanized Division. Um, I just thought, okay, the division has a change of pace. It's more of an infantry armor force. It's more balanced. It's not as the offensive oomph has been taken out of it. But I wasn't particularly upset. I just thought, all right, we're going to be playing the division in a different way. When the update dropped, I checked the armory, and when the update comes out and you have all your divisions, and when the update drops, you have a certain amount of open slots. Because the units have been removed. I looked, literally, my division comp is identical. And I realized I don't even use T80U and UD personally. Um, I find the price increase for these top tier tanks a little bit too expensive. I use the T80BV. I don't use the T80U and UD because the one extra frontal armor and 2 extra penetration is not worth the 30-40 point extra. I'd rather have some additional units for that price. So people were quite upset by the restructuring of the division. Personally, my division was not affected whatsoever. And you guys have seen in the gameplay that I haven't had any problem running Southern Guards Tank Division against NATO forces. So, personally, looking at this kind of controversy, while I'm not affected at all, I have to say the people who think that this division is worthless, I think just don't know how to play the game. Just straight up, they just need to get good, because this division has a lot it brings to the table, and the T80U and UD were only one little part of it that was an option for you to include. But then again, if your playstyle depends on heavier tanks for some reason, not T80BVs, then I can see this would be a blow, but you literally get an entirely new tank. So all of the controversy over this is really kind of unreasonable, because the 79th Guards Tank Division has not been altered in its deployment really whatsoever. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the patch notes here. If we can get this to move. There we go. Go up. There we go. Come on. That's weird. Alrighty, so the Milestone Leaf patch notes. So pretty standard stuff. You just see a lot of really kind of basic bug fixes and tweaks and things to the different operations and campaigns. I will say one of the things that seemed very notable is the increased threshold to pass stun. So it will be harder to stun, or it'll be harder to stun units all around, which is pretty interesting. The other thing I like to see is that helicopter crash survivors receive a lot of stress. Obviously, that's something that should happen if your helicopter crashes, So not a big surprise. Everything else here though looks pretty good. The 2 new divisions have been added. Shot capacity has been buffed significantly, 50% more damage on enemy forces. So that means shock troops are going to be a lot stronger. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to impact the game. For me, you can look at it 2 ways. You can say, oh, shock troops are now unbalanced. Or you can just go with the flow and just take out all your regular troops and replace them all with shock troops. Like for me, I'm going to be prioritizing shock troops now, because they're clearly the stronger unit. So something to keep in mind for your own divisional loadouts. Some minor price tweaks, corrections, IFV traits added to these recon vehicles, which is great. And in the 39th Guards Tank Division, they just have some cluster reworks. All T80U and UDs are gone, and here's the new IZD. Oh, right, and also this IZ29 is expensive, but it does have a better AGTM. So this is interesting. The AGTM on the field of battle. There's kind of two AGTM speeds. There's the really slow AGTMs that take forever, and the ones that are kind of speedy that come with like the BMP3. The new T80 BV IZD 29 AGTM is the fast kind. It crosses the battlefield very quickly and it's strong. So keep an eye out for that. If you're playing as them or against them, that AGTM is gonna be unexpectedly lethal compared to their older AGTM variants. Not because of the more armor pen, which is there, because of its increased speed. It's almost like probably 40% faster. That being said, the T80BV base ability was increased to 4 to 6. So I'm very pleased with that. I can take my 7 Cards Tank Division, already using TDBVs, and just upvet them, upvet them higher. So they're all receive, for me, they're all going to receive a buff in their upvetting, because I can attain exactly the same numbers. So talking about some notable things with the 11th ACR, it's very recon focused, and one of the notable units that comes with that, alongside the BGS, which was moved from the Territorial Commando over to the 11th ACR, is the Recon M1A1. It's got a cool, like, stippled color scheme. It looks great. You can bring two of them, so you can have two forward deployed M1 Abrams, which is definitely an interesting situation to try to rush the enemy, especially for 1v1 scenarios. That being said, on the overall battlefield, when I have a tank charge, I like a recon vehicle with my tanks, and almost always it's like a recon BMP, or like an archer, it's gonna get taken out by most things. It's not, or even a recon Bradley is doesn't have the best armor, so kind of a bad situation. The armored M1s accompanying your regular M1s are going to ensure that you have great recon. You're going to be spotting targets when you're doing those tank pushes. So you can also reserve those to use just with the regular tanks, or you kind of just rush them by surprise and try to withdraw them and use them later if you want to. So those M1 recons are definitely interesting. Do keep in mind though that you should not use them like regular tanks because their price is definitely increased commensurate with their forward deploy ability and their recon optics, so don't just slug it out with regular tanks. You have plenty of M1A1s, you can bring them up vetted. The tank tab is enormous. I mean, there are so many M1s available with this division. You got some Jaguars and like some CEV engineering vehicles and stuff like that to kind of spice up your deployment. Another new unit added with the 11th ACR is the Sea Knight, not Apache, Cobra attack helicopter. They have the improved TOW-2 missiles, very, very deadly. Just, of course, remember that the Cobra, compared to the Apache, survivability is a lot worse. Taking an Igla hit, it's not going to do well. The Apache is a fucking tank. It's got 2 frontal armor. The Cobra only has 1 and has less hit points, so it's not going to fare as well. Much more of a glass cannon, but those TOW-2s are deadly, and the ability to just move them anywhere you want to is great. Just whatever you do, for the love of God, please do not use it as a gunship Cobra, because you have gunship Cobras. It's only got like 20, I think 34 Zuni or Hydra rockets on board, and its minigun or to the 20 mil. So it's not going to do that well. It's going to run into ordnance quickly in close range. So don't bring it to close range. Don't risk it. It's a glass cannon, but you can definitely snipe tank pushes if they don't have AA. You can definitely punish them pretty good with a Sea Knight. So that's pretty much everything that we got. One more thing here I do want to say is there's a new, the KAB 1500KR. It's a new Soviet laser guided munition. It's huge. It's the closest thing that we have to a nuke in WARNO. I have yet to try it. It's got the most explosive power out of any weapon. It's meme enough that it's worth a try. So could be good for sniping stationary tanks. We'll have to see how that works out. But the aircraft is the Soviet plane that launches these is extremely expensive to match that. So, anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this little look. I want to know in the comments what you guys think about the new divisions and about the rebalancing of the T80s from division to division, and what do you think the impacts on gameplay will be? Will it affect your division, or do you think that the stress over it is kind of over exaggerated? Well, that's pretty much it. Other than that, that's it for today, guys. I do want to say, when you guys are watching my non-voice gameplay videos. I'm glad you guys enjoy them. I love seeing the community involvement. I love putting them out. I love seeing you guys' comments. I read every single one. Please do, if you enjoy, leave a like and comment on those videos to get the word out to as many people as possible, so that our channel can grow and expand, so people who want to see this kind of content can get access to it on their feed. Other than that, that's all for today. Go off, run outside, enjoy the sun, play the new WARNO update, enjoy the new capabilities brought by the new divisions, and when you come back, please leave a comment and let me know about what you think of it. Thank you so much, guys. That's all for today. So this is your host, Stardust Gaming, signing off.